Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 11th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. Check out the next frontal system out over the Pacific Ocean. Lots of cold air back behind across the Gulf of Alaska. We're going to have continued systems rolling through the Pacific Northwest through the extended forecast. We'll take a look at that in some detail, get some mountain snows, some big waves, and some windy potential here as well. Now, looking at about 300 millibars, or about 30,000 feet up in the atmosphere, there is the Pacific Northwest off to the right, and there's Alaska. This is the Gulf of Alaska. But you can see we've got these frontal systems that'll continue to move through. Look at this trough here, digging towards the west coast of North America. It's going to help spawn a very strong storm out across central portions of the USA. And then you can see this jet stream stays very strong. The storm train pointed at the Pacific Northwest here as we go on in towards this weekend. Some windy conditions possible. Then you can see this very strong storm develop on Sunday, and it's going to be visiting our offshore waters here. Potential strong winds across some of the region with that storm. We'll take a look at the latest on that here as we go through the video here this morning. But look at that as we go through Sunday afternoon. Check it out. You got the jet stream ripping over the top of Washington there at over 150 miles per hour. Fun stuff. And if you want to check out my new channel there, Worldwide Weather Watch, we'll just talk about some crazy weather that's happening across the world, do some educational stuff. So click like and subscribe if you would. And check out the latest video I did last night as well. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, it makes it much more fun to watch the weather when you have one of these at your place of residence, lightning detection system. Click on that link down below to save 10% off. So looking at things currently, we have some winter weather advisories, some gale warnings for some of the Washington, Oregon coast, and small craft advisories. There's even a little winter storm warning here above 4,000 feet for portions of northeast Washington as well. Now, let's take a look at the European artificial intelligence. There's the closed off of California. But this is our next system driving through here and going on in through the day today. You can see the deep troughing here up and down the west coast of North America. Gulf of Alaska troughing continues to throw some systems at the Pacific Northwest. And then we get this system rolling through on Sunday, a fairly deep low. It's going to have a nice pressure gradient with it as well, or a strong pressure gradient, I should say, for some strong winds potentially across the region. We'll see how that one trends here over the next few days and see it go through a little bit of a split there as we go on in through Monday morning. Then a bit of a transient and maybe additional systems continue as we continue to scroll off in through the month of March. Yeah, it looks like some active weather here. When will this finally start to calm down? Because that's another system there on the morning of March 24th, and maybe some ridging finally starts to set up here, and we'll start to get to enjoy some nice spring weather here across the region. Now, taking a look, this is where we are right about now. Let's scroll ahead a little bit more there. That's where we are right about now. There's the close off of California. There's our next frontal system up, pushing off across the region. You see this low pressure center deepening as it moves towards Vancouver Island. It drops down towards about 988 millibar load there. So there'll be some blustery conditions out there. Not a big region-wide windstorm or anything. It'll keep the precipitation going as we go on in through Wednesday. And you see the frontal system all the way down through California. Pretty strong storm there. Onshore flow continues as we go through Thursday. Some chilly air aloft might bring the snow levels down a little bit. The European wants to show a little bit of some snowfall down into the lower elevations north of Seattle. Not convinced on that just yet. Then we get another frontal system. A little bit of a power pack gradient with that, bringing some gusty conditions towards Oregon as we go on in through the Friday time period. Friday night shown there. Continued onshore flow. Just never-ending barrage of storms coming from the Pacific Northwest. Look at this monster deepening to 979 millibars right off of Vancouver Island. Gotta watch this one closely. It would have a very strong pressure gradient on the south side of that, and still some big model disagreement, as you can imagine, at hour 129 or so on just exactly where that low is going to be placed. And you see the heavy precipitation associated with that. So yeah, fairly active period as we go on in through this upcoming weekend. Looking at the GFS, there's a system today, 986, but again, the pressure gradient on the south side of that is not too robust, but it is bringing that precipitation here across the region. There goes Friday's system, and again, you're talking about 4, 8, 12, 16 millibars up and down the Oregon coast, so it is going to get windy likely on the day Friday, and then that low kind of decays and weakens off the coastline, but the precipitation continues in the onshore flow. And then the GFS also shows this system on Sunday morning right there, 985 millibar, fairly strong storm, big pressure gradient on the south side. And again, the track on that is going to depend, it's going to mean everything as far as who's going to see what kind of wind speeds with this storm system. So lots to watch here over the next few days. And the GFS wants to give us a little bit of a break there from, some of the stronger storms as we go on in through next week. But then it looks like the storm train quickly returns after that. So don't get too used to that right now. Very active March in store. Now, something fun to look at here is the European Ensemble. So this got 50 of these members. And of course, in the short range, we know where those low pressure centers are, generally speaking. So you can kind of see that. And as we go off into the forecast, you see that it starts to get a little bit more discombobulated. And this is a storm coming Tuesday night here. And, you know, what are we doing here today? Today is March 11th here. So yeah, that is tonight here, right off the coastline. And you can see these Ensemble members start to get a little bit squirrely. But then we bring in the Friday system. Again, that's going to bring some windy conditions towards the coastline there. And then you see the next system up. We still got some disagreement on the strength of this low as it moves in towards the Pacific Northwest. So you can kind of see how the model runs get a bit more chaotic with these Ensemble members as you look off into the extended forecast. Makes sense, right? Of course, the further out you get, the less confidence you have in any given forecast. And also a lot of precipitation coming over the next couple of weeks as well. Look at this 15-day precipitation anomaly, clearly above average for, you know, all the west coast here, all the way up and down into western BC, Washington, Oregon, and California. Now, looking at 10-meter wind gusts here, so let's scroll through here a little bit, and we'll go off to Friday. And you see that next system coming towards the coastline. Can't rule out a 45-mile-per-hour gust or so with that, according to the latest European, but we'll be watching that closely. Then the stronger storm arrives here as we go through Saturday night. Here we go through Sunday, and you see some of these wind speeds are on the high side of things. Like 52 for Olympia, starting to get the 40s for Seattle, just north of Seattle, above 50, northwest interior. So this one has the potential to pack quite a punch. Maybe some gusts up towards 60 miles per hour for the coastline. That one we will be watching with a great interest here over the next couple of days. Again, the arrival of that storm is on Saturday night and on in through Sunday. So we still have a few days to figure this out, and we'll be going into that in more detail tomorrow. Now, looking at the European Artificial Intelligence versus the GFS, again, just kind of driving home the point that we got a lot of rainfall to go as we go through the March 25th time period. Active weather will be continuing. And I did want to show this as well. So the timing of some of this snowfall is kind of interesting here. You see, as we go through the day Thursday, it's going to be some colder air aloft moving over the region. And this is actually accumulated positive snow depth change in inches. You see across Snohomish County, it's kind of painting that activity right there. I'm not too convinced as of just yet, but it does show some of this moving across some of southwest Washington as well. Some of the higher hilltops could be getting some snowflakes mixing in. That's what we'll call it for now. But I also want to show you this as we scroll on in through the weekend. Look at some of that snowpack, you know, building up as we go on in towards the end of the weekend here. Some nice snowfall amounts. We've got a lot of cold air aloft here rushing in here, and, you know, very active weather, additional rounds of precipitation. So that is good news because we are below average as far as snowpack is concerned. And if we take a look at that, I want to show you the system there today, and then we go on in through Friday. There's that next system, mainly windy for the Oregon coast. That low decays off our coastline. And here, let me back up to Thursday. Right there, you can see that snow starting to fly there. And, you know, it'll take some doing. We'll get to the high resolution models tomorrow, and we'll start to be able to see this system in a little bit more detail. I didn't see a classic convergence zone signature with that. This was more just kind of cold air aloft coming across the area. So again, there's Friday's system with the wind, and there's Sunday's stronger low there with 979 millibars right in towards Vancouver Island. And again, could bring some blustery conditions with that. So if we take a look at 925 millibars, this is the temperature at about 2,500 feet. And there's the Gulf of Alaska, there's the Pacific Northwest. So we're dealing with that system moving up tonight and into tomorrow morning right there. And as we go on in through Thursday, you see some of that colder air aloft try to move down across the region. You know, it's very marginal for snow getting down into the lower elevations, especially this time of year. So I'm not, you know, convinced that you're going to see snow into the, you know, down towards sea level accumulations or anything like that as of now. And then there's Friday's system here. You can kind of see some of that warmer air moving in, windy conditions on the coastline. And then you can see the bad boy out here as we go through the day Saturday. Look at that thing developing, bringing out warm air ahead of it. Classic mid-latitude cyclone signature as it moves towards the coastline, and then, you know, could bring some windy conditions here. Again, we'll be watching that very closely over the next couple of days. 6 to 10 day precipitation, and this is the snowpack not doing too hot. So we really need some of these events here, these storm systems, these frontal systems, to bring some of this measurable snowfall across the higher terrain. And this is so far for this year, January 1st through March 10th. You can kind of see we have been below normal, kind of a La Nina signature there, not bad. And this is another way to look at that average temperature departure from average since January 1st, and kind of a La Nina signature there. However, what doesn't look like La Nina is just how dry we've been since January 1st. You can see some portions across the Washington Cascades, towards Mount Rainier, 12 to 16 inches below normal. Some of the Washington coast has actually been quite dry, relatively speaking, as well, in a big area between -8 and -12 on the precipitation value. So kind of an interesting signal there, not really expected during a La Nina winter. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, again, check out Worldwide Weather Watch. We'll break this all down again tomorrow, and we'll start to look if any kind of chances. We'll see what kind of snow levels we're looking at as we go through the day on Thursday. We'll check that out in more detail tomorrow. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.